Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Gas podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundation for our families, be present for our kids, and come back generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing, the barbecue, is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. Hopefully, you guys aren't stressing out there on this Tuesday. But man, before we start, like always, guys, right? Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, tell a friend. I appreciate the support. This is episode, I want to say 98 or something, which is crazy. Almost at 100
Yeah.
episodes. So that's a blessing for sure. And I got some news too. I'm gonna share with y'all on episode 100 for sure. But with that being said, man, I'm excited because I was able to track this man down on his vacation. You know what I mean? So if y'all watching, that's why you see the guns out. That's why you see him looking relaxed, looking fresh. But but nah, I have my boy Jacob on, man. How you doing today, bro?
We're good, man. We're over here in Florida right now on vacation, like you said. Um, I had to cut some time aside, of course, to get on this podcast.
Okay.
98, I didn't think you were close to 100 yet, so that's a blessing right there. Just being close to
Yeah.
100, that's a blessing to be on the 98th episode, man. I appreciate that. You have me on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, bro. No, I appreciate it, bro. So I like to do icebreakers, man. So since you are on vacation, having a good time, right? So like, what is either one of the most amazing places you have visited, like in your life, or a place that you want to visit?
You know what? I'll answer both. Like the one I have visited, there's this in Mexico, there's a place called Puerto Vallarta. It's more of a tourist spot, but a little bit south of that, there's a little pueblo. It's like a kind of like a bay area called
Mm-hmm.
Chacala. It's like a 3 mile wide little bay area, 3 mile wide of beach. There's like three hotels, two restaurants, and like little shops. And then they set up like little taco shops at night. Like it's the best you could get in Mexico. Like it's amazing if you can make it there. Chacala, Chacala, Mexico. But the places I would go to that I haven't been yet, I want to go to Ireland because I'm Mexican or Hispanic, but I'm a part Irish as well. So I want to go visit some Irish, some in sorry, Ireland. Try some of that crazy food out there. I heard there's a lot of foods that doesn't sound too appealing, but I want to go out there and check out the sights and all that because it's where my dad's side's from. So I want to go check it out for sure.
That'd be dope, bro. No, that's dope, man. Um, Now I want to ask you, man, as we dive into the subject and stuff, man. Obviously, you're a father. One, I didn't even know, so this is new to me. I thought you only had one child, so you have four. So I want to
Four
know from
kids.
tell me about. I have four too, so I understand, right? So,
Yeah.
um, share me, man, just like your father journey and well, one, I guess what's the age of all your kids, and then like just like what has that journey like for you in your fatherhood journey? What has that been like, bro, for you?
So I do have four kids. I got two boys, two girls. Got lucky enough to even them out like that. I got some family members that get like four boys and they try again for another girl and then they get boys again. But like, I got lucky enough to get two and two right off the bat. Thank God. From oldest to youngest, I got my oldest boy Liam. He's 8. He'll be 9 in October. And Mia, she just turned 7 earlier this year. Emma, she just hit 4 earlier this year as well. And my son Andrew, he's gonna turn 3 in August.
That's dope.
So the first two back to back, last two back to back.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I got four as well, so I can relate. And I got two and two, two boys, two girls, so
Oh,
we in the
yeah.
same ballpark. You know what I mean? So we broke
Hmm.
even. Now, so how was that, man? Because you young, bro. You know what I mean? So how was that for you? One, I guess when you first heard about you having your son, and then just like overall, as far as having four kids, like was it something like you want a big family, so you was tripping on it? Were you like, dang, okay, man, I already have like a nice sized family? Like, what was that like for you?
So I want to say when I first met their mother, great woman. Like I knew from day one that this is the one I want to have my kids with. She's an amazing person. But we were very young. I was 20
Mm,
whenever she told me she was pregnant, and we got married shortly after. But yeah, the first time, I mean, I was scared, of course, 20-year-old kid. Like I was bartending, serving tables.
mm,
It was crazy. A little Mexican restaurant over there on Bandera Road.
mm.
So it was a little tense, but it was. I mean, I wasn't. I was definitely more excited because I guess I already knew I had the person I wanted to have my kids. So it was a
Mm,
little. It didn't hit me as far as oh shit, like I'm too young for this. I didn't have any as far as like the panic and all that.
yeah,
I definitely had the person I want to have my kids with. So it was more. It was. I was surprised, even though I knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? But I was excited. Um, definitely made me, I guess, look back over what I was doing as far as like job wise and I needed a career and all that. I started looking for different options immediately after that. I started working at a different job doing sales. And then we had my second kid, and that was another one. There's just wow, like a girl now, boy and girl, 1-on-1. Like that's amazing, blessing.
yeah,
And it was still tough. It was still a little tough. Made it work. Made it work. We both made it work. It was great. I loved it. Number three came around. I was already with Baird County. I'm being a deputy with them at the jail. So we were doing a little bit better, but still it was like, oh, damn, three kids. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, the topic came up of like, hey man, you might want to shut down the factory and all that. But got a little scared. But then shortly after that, we had a little while. We did have a little while where we had like two kids, a couple years in between. Then joined the
Mm,
two kids, had our own little apartment and all that. And we had our third kid. Then we got a house. We enjoyed that for a bit. And we had our fourth, my boy Andrew, my little Juju. He has a little deep ass, like raspy ass voice. Um, yeah, he goes, Daddy, Daddy. It's crazy, man. But yeah, after him, yeah, I was more scared of having five kids than whatever the outcome was of me shutting down the factory. So
yeah,
yeah, we shut that down real quick. We ended up just having two and two, two boys, two girls. And I mean, well, the times were hard. Now we made it work. We made it work.
yeah.
Kids are a blessing, man.
That's. I'm just thinking like, yeah, you definitely like that forces you to grow up quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that. Like you have no choice but to grow up fast, man. And so, like you say, you was with Bear County doing like the correctional stuff, and I was gonna ask you, bro, like I guess what led you to even do that? Was it more so just like you said you had your family's growing and you like, hey, like I need to get something that can be a career, or was it something where you were like, hey, like you know what, this pays pretty good, let me check it out. Like how did you even get in that?
So before I ever had the thought about submitting the application to there, um, I tried, like I said, doing sales. I was working for this place called Bimbo Bakeries. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. It's Bimbo Bakeries. Might not know. It's like a Mexican sweet bread,
Yeah, I know what
sandwich
that.
bread. They do
Yeah,
takis and all that. So I did sales for them for a while, and they paid good money, but like it, right now, no benefits ain't like that. And we got by. We did just fine on that. We were surviving. We were able to take a couple trips here and there, like living like good life. And then tried other places, Budweiser, did merchandising for them, Chase call center. I tried a bunch of different jobs trying to find something that like I had a passion for. And like you know me now, like I'm a worker. Whatever I'm doing, I try my best. I'm a good guy. Like I get along with everybody. If I have a job, I'm gonna do it. I was trying to
yeah.
find that passion at that point in my life. And
Mm,
ever since like that's the time like I look back and ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be. Initially, it was like military, police. I just wanted to have something in that kind of role. At the time, it was when I was a child, it was like a protector role, that type of thing. So kind of just did some like a lot of self like looking back on myself, and at that point, I talked to my wife at the time, and decided to let me apply. Worst case scenario, they say no, and I just keep the job I have now. Now I actually applied for SAPD initially, and I made it through about halfway through and didn't work out. And then I applied for Barrett County Sheriff's Office, and I was able to get through with that. And that
Mhm.
just it felt like as soon as I got through the academy, it was a couple of weeks long. But as soon as I got through like working and I was on the floors and getting to like starting to work and all that, there's just a huge sense of pride, just fulfillment, and just, I finally felt that. I guess as like a man, you just feel like it was like your calling, and it was an amazing feeling, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was I feel like that was I had a passion for doing. So I took a I enjoyed it very much. It was amazing working there.
That's
So
dope,
that's what
man.
initially got me in. Just having that, looking back, trying to do different things,
Yeah,
and not really working out. It's getting us by, but not really working out. And then trying
yeah.
to look back at like what did the 10-year-old me want to do, and then
Hmm.
finally, you know what? Let me take that reach. Well, I felt like a huge reach at the time. Because at the time I didn't feel like I was the type of material that would make it in that type of workforce. But
Yeah.
I took the risk and did all that, and I was able to get in. So it paid a lot. I mean, it paid off a lot.
That's dope, bro. Cause I'm looking at it like what you said. I think it's so dope because it was like, that pride. Cause it was like you was rewarding that 10-year-old you, right? Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
could tell a 10-year-old you like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like what, Jacob? That is dope. Like we made it. Like we good. You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
So
that thought
like
definitely crossed my mind right there. That as soon as I
yeah,
made it
bro.
through and I made a couple of accomplishments, I was like, man, 10-year-old me would be going crazy right now if he saw what we were doing. Yeah.
That's dope, bro. No, that's dope because a lot of people, to be honest, bro, a lot of people, right, which I'm sure you know too, like they can't say that for themselves, right? Like they never even if it was for a little bit, like, oh man, I always wanted to, I don't know, let's say coach football, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
never even got to coach football in their life before, right? They're doing like you said, they're doing sales. Nothing wrong with sales, but it's like, man, that's not what I love. Like I wish I could
Mm-hmm.
coach, right? So at the end of the day, you was able to do something like that. I think it's dope, bro. And so I want to ask you though too, like, it's actually two questions. So like, how did being a correctional officer shape your views of manhood and like leadership, right? And then like, did that experience in the prison system affect how you parent your kids as a young man? And I can ask you if it's I know I just asked a big loaded question, but I can ask you again if you forget one of them.
No, no, you're good. I would say there's different stages, I guess, like as far as in that answer, because as you know, the audience doesn't know, but like me and my kids' mom are now separated, but initially we were married and all that. So initially, I would say as much as I tried, I mean, I had a passion. I loved it. I still loved it. I'm trying to go back to that job and that career. But initially, it did take a huge toll on me. The hours, the the type of evil you saw in there. I mean, ain't everybody evil in there. I ain't trying to put out like that. There's some basic dudes that just DWI or whatever, don't pay child support, and they're in there. There's some good dudes that I did meet in there that were inmates, and like, but there was a lot of evil in there.
Yeah.
The stress and all that, the hours, I took it home with me, and that did lead to all my other issues down the road.
Mm.
But I think at that time, as far as me as a father, I definitely, was a little more impatient. Um, I definitely recall some like, why is it easier for me to go to work and be able to tell hundreds and hundreds of these men what to do and control them and handle them, and I can't control these four kids at home or two kids at the time, then three kids and four. Why is it less stressful to do this to hundreds of grown ass men and gang members and murderers and rapists and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me, that's a heavy ass word. But
No,
um
that's what sometimes in the prison, bro.
yeah. So it would hit me every now and then when I think about it. Why am I having such a easier time at work than I am with my kids?
Mm.
And looking at it now, it is frustrating and disappointing. that I never took the time to realize what am I doing at home to so that it isn't as hard as it is as it was at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going forward, I was definitely more short tempered with my kids and more than I like to be. It did
Mm-hmm.
pay a price. Do that, but I think that's just on my like sole experience. There are a bunch of guys I knew there that are amazing fathers that try to give me advice and I try to look forward for advice, and for whatever reason it just didn't stick with me at the time. But yeah, there's some good dads in there. I ain't trying to put it out there that correction or doesn't have good fathers and all that. But just for me, my experience, I didn't handle it too well, like stress and all that. But once me and their mom did separate, I had a lot of time to reflect, and I did the whole like I read a couple of books as far as parenting, a bunch of YouTube videos. Then your algorithm gets fixed, and you start seeing like little clips about fathering and all that. So I started putting together pieces of the puzzle that I was missing at the time, as far as
Mm.
patience, talking, letting your kids understand, make sure all your older kids, if they're old enough to understand like the reasons and all this. And
Yeah.
I took that real deep, and I had a long period before I worked with you here at White Cat. But I had a long time to a couple months to really focus in and dial in on my parenting style, and it was a huge adjustment, and it was tough as far as patience, stress, money, all that.
Mm.
Everything got real tough, but uh, the end goal was just trying to be a better person, trying to be a better father, and hoping that my life would, I guess, show my effort would be putting in, and I would get that reward down the road for my effort putting in
Yeah.
that. So
So
I took all that time, all that effort, and I do. I mean, I've been getting like a lot of compliments from my family members and friends. They be seeing the changes over the past year and a half of me being a father. My kids way more excited to come see me, way
mm,
more anxious, like wanting to spend time with me, wanting to call me. It's just I feel the difference with them. I feel the difference between the compliments for people that I know, the family members and friends, and it
yeah,
feels like that
that's dope.
the time I took, it's I'm seeing it like put out in the real world basically.
That's what I wanted to ask you as far as like, so like for you, what example did you see growing up when it came to like stress?
Mm. Yeah, so,
Because like, so you could think about that. You think about that real quick. So the reason why I asked that is because depending, excuse me, depending on your examples that you had, right? You didn't know any better. On top of that, you're 20 years old with your first child. On top of
yeah,
that, then you're married. On top of that, then you keep adding additions to so you're still growing, bro. Like a lot of times, it's one of those things. I tell my oldest too, like the way you think now, you're not gonna think, when you're 25, when you're 30, when you're 35, right? So but when you're in that moment, you don't know. And on top of that, bro, you was in a stressful, even though that was your dream job, right?
yeah,
Um, it's still a stressful job. That's why there's a high divorce rate for police officers, right? For
yep,
anyone I think in the military too, right? And even again, I'm not saying all people or whatever, but sometimes people in law enforcement or whatever, right? They're in abusive relationship, maybe not even physically, right? It could be verbally, just because of all the things you're dealing with. So you're dealing with grown men that you have to constantly. You can't be. I mean, yeah, there's probably a couple you can be chill with, but you have to constantly be on them, right? And you have to be and constantly you have to be alert. You can't get slack off because shoot, you might get caught slipping, right? That could be your life, right?
mm-hmm.
And so you need to make sure you're going home to your kids. So that's a lot to have on you. So I just want to I guess salute you, bro, as far as just recognizing that and doing the work. Even though maybe at times you look back like, damn, I wish I could have did it differently. True, but the good part is it's not too late. Your kids still love you, right? Like they're still want to be around you. They're still like, dang, okay. like you said, your family members are seeing the difference. Like, dang, okay, you're leading by example, bro. You're your daughter's first love. You're your son's first hero, right? So they're looking at you like, I want to be like dad. Like, dang, look how dad handles this. You know what I mean? And doesn't mean as men we have to constantly yell and cuss out. No, you can, as you, I'm sure you know, as men, we can just give that look, and they're like, okay, dad, dad said, let's knock it off, right? So, um, but with that being said, bro, I just wanted to ask you, like, to be fair to you, because a lot of times we'll beat ourselves up. So I wanted to ask you, like, what example did you have, and not necessarily maybe your mom, like as men, like maybe your dad, uncle, whoever, like as men, how growing up, how did you see them handle stress?
Okay, so my dad was there, is still here, thank God. Growing up, it was tough back in the day. Um, my parents started earlier than I did having kids, and
Mm,
I have two sisters, a brother, or sorry, three sisters and a brother. So we have a lot more siblings, and they started very, very young. My dad, straight out of high school. My mom was still in high school, so the early start. But it was tough. My memory's not too good about their super early years, but I just know as far as like dad was just yelling, um, hold the light straight, all that, drinking, belt. Like it was a, I mean, he was a very very like a physically disciplined father, but he was present. He was present,
yeah,
and there was a lot of fights, holes in walls, smashing the phone and smashing plates, kind of thing. Nothing like too crazy,
yeah,
um, but yeah, it was a little tough.
yeah. No, and
Um,
oh, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
a big thing about me trying to change as a father. I mean, when I had my kids, I wasn't as I wasn't crazy like my father was to me, but as I was a short temper, and it wasn't how I would love me to be as a father in the past. I saw that there was room for a lot of improvement, and I improved. But the thing that drove me to do that improvement was my dad. From back in the day till now, him like seeing him as a grandpa to my kids, bro. He's he's like a hallmark grandfather. Like
Yeah,
he's pawpaw. He's pawpaw for sure. Yeah, he's great.
that's dope.
He's great with the grandkids, man. And that was a huge like man. Like if in my head I see myself as man, like I was doing a horrible job before.
Yeah.
Like how is it possible for me to be a better father now? Like I'm in a bad situation
Mm.
and see my dad the way he was and how he is now. Like well, if my dad could do it, like damn sure I could do it too. So like that was a huge motivation right there too.
That's dope. No, that's what I was gonna say too. So like you said, like your parents had you young, right? So like at the end of the day, they were kids. They were kids raising kids, right? So
Yep.
like how can you really emotionally, right? How can you really handle raising a family when you still have so much growing to do yourself, right? And so in that, right, that's where it could be quick temper or whatever the situation is at the time because you don't know how to process it because they're still trying to go through, whatever they're going through, and then, fast forward, you obviously not as young, but you had your kids young, you know what I mean? And so it's almost like a cycle in a sense, right? Like maybe not as
Hmm.
young, but still like you're super young where you're still trying to figure out. And again, you grew up seeing, okay, this is how like my mom, my dad, whoever handles situations, this is how I'm gonna handle it, right? And it was just the norm. But then, like you said, shout out to your dad, by the way, like he was able to make that change. And then probably for him too, he's like, I'm a grandpa now, right? Like I don't have to be on 10 no more. I can just be
Yeah.
chill. I can I can be
No. Yeah.
chill now, right? And then probably in your dad's mind too, he's like, man, I could never like get on them like how I was before, right? Like I
Hmm.
could never do that, right? And so seeing that, like you said, that encouraged you, like, man, I could do the same. And so that's why I say salute to you. One, for your dad, he kind of, in a sense, he sparked it as far as making that change. But bro, you are literally the foundation where you're changing it. So your kids, this is what your kids are gonna know because of the change you made. Yeah, they're still young, but what the oldest is 8. So you know what I mean. So by the time he's 18, I'm like, yeah. This is how my dad is. This oh my when my dad's upset, like he can communicate with me though. He can tell me exactly why I did whatever I did wrong. Right?
Yeah.
But he's gonna do it stern, but I still know like dang, my dad loves me, like regardless. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so that's dope, bro. Like I said, I want to salute you on that too, man, because that's not an easy task, you know what I mean? And so and like I said, shout out to your pops as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, my oldest boy, about 3 4 months ago, it was definitely a proud dad moment, man. Like it got me a little teary eyed, and so I talk about it till this day. And I was talking about it earlier on my with my family members here on vacation with me. I brought it up. It was one of those moments where like just sit down with your oldest boy and like, what do you want to do to grow up, and that type of conversation, right? And his response is, it shocked me to my core, man. It shocked me to my core. I asked him, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he said, I just want to be a good man. I was
Mm,
like oof, man. I told him you have no idea how happy and how proud I am to hear that. Because I'll tell you right now, regardless of what you do in life, what you do, I'm gonna be proud of you. Regardless, as long as you're a good man, I'm gonna be proud of you. Regardless, I care less what you do. But if you're a good man, man, me and your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, everybody's gonna be proud of you. So yeah, that was beautiful, beautiful answer from an 8-year-old. Like that hit me good. It was a good answer right there.
no, that's an amazing proud dad moment, bro. And the reason why
Oh
he said
yeah,
that is because he has an example. You're the example, bro. You
appreciate
know what I
that.
mean? Like you're the example, man. And so that's dope. He views you as a good man. You know what I mean? And he wants to be like his dad. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. So, salute to you again, man. Like I said, like it's a beautiful thing just because again, we all have baggages, we all have things we're messed up in, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, as long as we're trying to improve and like that's why I think it's amazing, for you, man, like recognizing, hey, I was stressed out in my job. I didn't handle stress the best way. And I'm assuming, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming how you process stress now is different. I'm assuming some of it is probably working out because I know you be in the gym. But you could tell me if I'm wrong. What is some of those things, bro, that helps you handle stress better now?
Well, I mean, I was working out before. I was definitely a lot bigger back then, so I was still working out, but it was more working out for the wrong reasons, I guess. I was working
Mm,
out before, because I had to be in shape. I had to
yeah,
handle a bunch of grown ass men. Make sure I go home the same way I left the home. Um, Now working out is more therapeutic for sure. Walks, like I said, whether it's as far as, I mean, it comes down to like reading, like looking at books, listening to books, even down to the movies. Like there's some cheesy as Hallmark movies I'll play every now and then.
yeah,
That like I'll hear it. Yeah, this is a good like father movie or whatever. It has like a little bit of a father thing. I'll watch it because like those cheesy Hallmark Christian movies, like it's cheesy and the acting is crazy. But
yeah,
man, like the points they hit, they
yeah,
do they do they do spark some interest in me, and they spark some like topics I want to be hitting on, and things I want to focus on, and they might open up my mind just to things I don't know yet. So
mm,
yeah, so this is what I've been to focus on since I've been trying to better myself as a father. Just
that's dope.
different ways to get an idea on how to be a better father.
No, I love that, bro. So, like, I just got like three more questions, and then I
Yeah.
won't hold you up too much. But, um, growing up, right? So, just from hearing where you're at now, like growing up, what did you learn about being a man, and how has that changed now that you are a father?
Hmm. Um, I would definitely say growing up, seeing my dad and his buddies and my uncles and all that, man, just typical old school tough, man. It's tough. Nothing
Yeah,
phased them, no problem, no obstacle. Whether it's just not phasing them, not bothering them, or just always for being able to provide, nothing gets in the way of that goal. Right? And I do keep that in me as far as whether I'm flipping burgers, loading trucks, whatever it may be. But I'm gonna
yeah,
be providing for my kids regardless. But definitely. people be saying like nowadays we're soft. I don't like that at all. I think some people do be getting a little soft, but I think the way that I was raised and the ways I'm raising my son is not soft. It's just be a little more in tune into what like you're mad, you're pissed off, you're annoyed,
Yeah.
whatever. Because you're mad doesn't give you don't have the right to be acting the way you're doing, or like I try to understand his emotions at a young age rather than figuring it out when he's in his 20s. But like we said earlier, teaching your son how to be a hero, being your son's hero, being your daughter's, I forgot what
First
that
love.
was.
First
Yeah,
love.
exactly. Yeah, I actually read that in the book because it's showing your daughter
Yeah.
the man you want her to marry, and
Yeah.
showing your son how to act like a man for the wife, like the man that he'll be to his wife.
Yeah.
Lead by example. And I
Yeah.
take that to heart. I take it to heart whether it's them seeing me having to work all the time, whether it's me seeing them spend time like with them all the time, whether it's like any aspect. If there's a huge decision on a lot of small decisions in my life, like
Yeah.
it comes up like, no, like I gotta get up, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, because like I can't have my son thinking it's okay to be acting like this. I can't have my son, my daughter thinking it's okay to have a man like this. Like me and the kids, my kids' mom are separated now, and for a while, like for a good long while, it's been very amazing co-parenting between us. And a lot of it is because like one, my daughter's thinking it's okay to have to stay in something that they don't want to be in because I'm stuck. We're married. I'm stuck. No, if he ain't treating you right, then by all means, you can make it on your own. You're good. And
Yeah.
my sons too. Like even though if you were a bad man at once, turn it around. You can you can always be a better man, regardless of how you started off. Like I
No,
said,
that's
like, coming from like I guess a disadvantage as far as like parenting and marriage and all that. I'm trying to use it to show them that whether you can be dealt some bad hands in life, and you can do some a lot of good with it. That's my goal as far as parenting.
no, that's real, bro. And I want to ask you. So two more questions. The I guess the second to last one is
Mm-hmm.
what legacy do you hope to leave behind for your kids?
Man, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you've been asking me to do this podcast for a while now. Like the fact that it's like happening right now, and like I'm getting like that, not the exact same question, but like more or less. I guess the idea just floating around my mind, come from different areas. It's crazy. The timing is just crazy. It's hitting me like wild right now. But
Hey man, I try to come up with the best questions, brother.
yeah, that's
And it can obviously always change, right? But as of right now, where you're at in this state of mind and this growth and the wisdom you've been obtaining and things like that. But yeah, man, what you know what you know what legacy do you hope to leave behind, man?
I think my son said the best. I mean, like he said, he want to grow up to be a good man. I just want my kids to know that I'm a good man in every aspect, as far as work ethic, uh, like friends, family, and all that. I just want my kids to know I'm a good man.
Mm,
Like I'm sure if you go digging around, you can find some people out there that have some dirt on me, that have some like negative ideas towards me. But for the most part, for the past year or two, I mean, I've been living my life by the way my son. He was like, I just want to be a good man. I'm trying to be a good man out here, and I know the only thing I got right now is my kids, and like it's my pride and joy right there. If I got nothing else to give them in life at all, I want them to have the I guess the mentality of my dad was a good man. Like be able to
yeah,
have every whoever goes to my funeral, whether it be you or whoever goes to the funeral. I guess the idea of them going to my kids and telling your dad was a damn good man. That
mm,
that mean more to me than I mean as of right now that mean a lot to me.
yeah. No, and I was gonna say because like you said, there could be someone that can bring up dirt, man, bro. They could bring up dirt on anybody because at the end of the day, me being a believer, of course, bro, we're all sinners. Nobody is perfect. You know what I mean? So we all gonna
Hmm.
make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So it could be quote unquote the most perfect person, and then you find out, oh wait, they stole from Walmart. What the heck, right? So
Hmm.
like, we all have flaws, man. But at the end of the day, like you're trying to improve and be the best version of you. At the end of the day, for your kids and your family, that's all that matters, bro. So, um, with that being said, man, the last thing I wanted to ask you is if your kids listen to this episode, either, next week, 10 years from now, whatever the case is, what is something that you hope that they get from this or something that they can, I guess, if it's one message or one thing you want them to get from this, what would it be?
Damn. God damn, Sean. uh, I'm trying my best not to come with like a generic answer, but
Oh, it's fine, bro.
I mean, I just it's my whole mindset has been like my kids do know like I'm not extremely, I don't follow it to the T, but we are religious. We do pray before every meal we have at our house, and I love that. We every time I pick them up from the mom's house, we go to the mom's house, we blast some Brandon Lake or some as for me in my house, that old song. Yeah, we blast it, so they know a little about that. I guess if I don't know if I'm interpreting your question the wrong way, but if I had to leave a message for my kids 10 years from now, is if I ever fail you as a father, look to your real father up above, and he will
Mm,
guide you regardless of how I act. And I'm doing my damn near best, but you always have amazing example from above to lead you. And yeah,
no,
whether I fall off path or not, you got someone leading you the way. You gotta look for it. My kids know that. I'm trying my best to show them that down that path. And they do get on my back sometimes when Sunday mornings when it's my week.
yeah,
Trying to sleep in on Sundays, they do get on me, and I get a little back talk, but we make it when we can.
yeah.
But yeah,
No, I like that, bro. So if they listen, they watch. So basically, for his amazing kids, he's saying that hey, he's flawed, but he's gonna do his best to let God lead him, and when he does fall short, to make sure you guys look to your heavenly Father, who is not gonna fall short. If
yeah, of
that's
course.
I could be wrong, but that's what I
No,
feel
that's
like.
exactly yeah, that's exactly.
I love it, bro. No, I love it, man. And so, yeah, man. With that being said, bro, again, I know I've been giving you your flowers already, but again, I'm gonna do it just because anytime I have a guest, I love to just give flowers, man. Because at the end of the day, I feel like as men, as fathers, we don't hear it enough. So again, bro, one, I thank you for your time for sure, especially you being on vacation. You did have to hop on, but also, man, like I said, just you sharing this story, man. I know it's gonna inspire people that listen or watch, however you guys, you know, uh, uh, pay attention to the content or you guys see it on Instagram, whatever the case is. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro, I want to thank you, man, just because you're making you're doing the hard stuff. You're doing the hard work now. So hopefully your kids don't have to, right? And
Hmm.
so I love that, bro, and I love the fact that your family members are able to see the change, and the fact that you love hard, man. You love hard, and it's just one of those things. Now you're understanding how can I, because even when you wasn't you was quick tempered, right? It wasn't because like you didn't love them. It wasn't because like you had like you just didn't want to be their dad or nothing. It was just you was just dealing with a lot at that time. So that's why you reacted the way you did. But now you have found a more productive way to communicate and things like that, man. So again, I want to salute you, bro, because at the end of the day, like you said, soft. Like that's a little stereotype that people will say things like that. But there's nothing soft about providing. There's nothing soft about sitting down and really communicate with your kids why you didn't like this, but you still love them, right? There's nothing soft about, hey, you know what? You got to do this as a man, or you have to, or shoot, you have to do this as a young woman for your girls, right? But you explain to them why that's important, right? And so you're creating values and morals for them. There's nothing soft about that, especially when it feels like you're at a place now where you've been through so many different things where you're humble enough where your kids will tell you, hey dad, don't sleep in on Sunday, we gotta go to church or whatever the case is, right? It's like, oh shoot, like yeah, let me let like or I'm really sleepy, y'all, but I am going to try, right? But it's not one of those things like I'm the parent, be quiet, right? You're going to actually try to hear where they're coming from, right or wrong, man. So I think that's dope, bro.
They tell me about every whether it's full on like full meal, homemade meal, whether at a restaurant, we pick a McDonald's, pizza, whatever it may be, we eat. And my girls are more accurate with it, but they definitely go before I take a bite. Daddy, we need to pray. Daddy, we need to pray. Whose turn is it to pray? We take turns. My 2 year old, I have to help him guide him through the prayer, but man,
Yeah,
my 2 year old, we take turns. It's amazing to see. I definitely didn't have that much passion in it when I was at their age for sure. Um, but it's great, man.
that's
And
dope.
yeah, as far as that being soft and all that, no, like take an extra minute to be like, all right, you ain't supposed to do that. They might have deserved it because they ignored you first, whatever. But you should tell me that they'll be in trouble. Just the extra little explanation,
Yeah, yeah,
and I mean, it's still taking like 200 times for them to get the idea of like, all right, can I fight that? I mean, it's not a one and done. It's repetitive. It's repetitive. It's repetitive. Lazy parenting doesn't get the job done. You got to be on it 100%, whether you're grinding and working all day, day off, whatever. Parenting takes 100% for it to work. And I know that now. I believe it now. And that's why I respect it. When I see it, I respect it. And from what I've seen you as a father, man, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
appreciate
What you
it.
told me, you and your girl and your kids,
Yeah,
it's hit me. The things that are done for you and your birthday and all that, that's hit me emotionally. So like that's crazy how strong y'all love is for y'all. So that's a huge respect for you and your family, man. It's crazy.
appreciate it, bro. No, I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate, like I said, those kind words. And again, appreciate your time, man, for sure. Um, Now, with that being said, y'all, like always, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.